Yes, like everybody else, I watched the first of the three big American presidential debates the other night, Donald Trump versus Hillary Clinton. And I thought I should put a video out, just some kind of response, given that I took the time out of my life to watch it, and watched it not only once but twice. I watched it live when it was happening, and then I watched it again the next day just to see if I could get any further perspective on it, and I really couldn't. But I gotta say, just going in, just turning on the television and waiting for it to happen, I really kind of half expected to hear that high-pitched ee alarm thing, and the warning message to come up. This is our emergency broadcasting signal. Because how did it come to this? How did the United States go from having President Barack Obama, who's a really intelligent guy, to having the choices now be Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump? I mean, is it just like backlash because there was a black president? Is that what's going on? Or it's the only thing I can think. Like, how did it come to this? there's not any more like intelligent, charismatic, leadership out there that we can turn to. I shouldn't say we. I'm an expatriate. But still, I get into this stuff. When the U.S. is having an election, I get into it. When Obama was elected, I cried. So many people cried. I cried when he was first elected. Felt like it was such a powerful change. It wasn't, it was and it wasn't. I mean, it's nice to see the United States have an intelligent president after going through having that hillbilly Bill Clinton, and then that half retarded George Bush. Like, my goodness. The U.S. has not had a very good lineup of presidents for a long time now. It's been a long time. And then they had Barack Obama, and Barack, in my opinion, is really the most presidential United States president that they've had for decades. Probably since, maybe, I don't know. Maybe since I was just a little boy. And now this. And, so I tuned in because I hoped to see the freak show, right? I hoped to see the gong show that I was certain would come of a debate with Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. And even though it did kind of, they did get off topic and things got a little bit feisty, it wasn't what I'd hoped. And I think that's unfortunate. I mean, it plays in Hillary's favor, but I think what I witnessed, my take on it was that Donald Trump was trying to appear presidential and trying to appear like a politician, and that is a bad move in my opinion. That's not what's got him to where he is in terms of being a legitimate candidate for this election. I think what people would rather see, including the Trump supporters, but just in general, people would rather see Donald Trump be Donald Trump and not try to beat around the bush on stuff. So there were some little, like Hillary was pushing all the buttons, right? She was saying, when it came to her answers on her questions, she was always picking on him. She was always, giving him some little prods and stuff like this. So eventually, halfway through the debate, he started like losing it a little bit, and coming back at her, not as strongly as she can. And he put that out there at the end that he was trying to be nice, right? That her, the commercials and the things that she's been doing are not nice, and that he purposely withheld some of what he might have used in that debate. I don't think he should have withheld. I think he lost the debate, and I think he lost it because he wasn't really being Donald Trump. He wasn't being the honest Donald Trump that Trump supporters want to see. And if he's going to try to play the politically correct, in between, it's not going to work for him, right? So his only hope, I think, at this point, like if the debates keep going like this, he's shot. He's not going to get elected. I've been all along pretty confident that he stands a really good chance of getting elected. And the reason I think that is because Hillary's not a charismatic person. Most people who are going to vote for her are going to vote for her because she is the quote-unquote less of two evils. That's not a good reason to vote for somebody, really, in my opinion. And I'm glad I'm not voting. But I think Trump could actually stand a chance. It would be not good for the United States, but it's not going to be good for the United States no matter what happens at this point. It's ridiculous. It's a joke. You can't even have what is Saturday Night Live going to do with this new presidency that it's not doing to itself? Like, I'd rather watch the real thing and laugh than watch somebody do a spoof on what's happening, because the real thing is hilarious. We got brief windows into the Trump mindset when he couldn't help himself at certain points of the debate. Like, Hillary was getting on his case about not revealing his taxes and stuff like this, and said maybe it's because the couple of times that he did reveal his taxes in the past, it was clear that he wasn't paying any federal taxes. And Trump, couldn't help himself. He's like, yeah, that makes me smart. That's the Donald Trump that I think would be preferable to just be brought right out in the open. Because he's right. If I could get away with not paying taxes, I'd love that. Anybody that can get away with not paying taxes, he's playing hardball, right? I think Hillary got on his case about when there was the housing crisis in the United States, and she was like, Donald Trump was all for this. He was like, I hope there's going to be a housing crisis, because then I can swoop in and buy some more properties cheap. And again, he couldn't help it. He's like, yeah, that's called business, right? And there's nothing wrong with that, because he's right. That is business. That is the free market that America wants. It's not the nice thing, but America is not about being nice. Where has America ever been nice to anybody? America doesn't play nice. America blows shit up. So Trump going to be the president, if he's going to be the president, I think he needs to be, in order to sell himself, he needs to really live the pitch that he's delivering. Because from what I hear him saying is that here's Hillary over here, and she's been a politician for the last 30 years, And now all of a sudden she thinks she's going to make these big changes. Why hasn't she made these changes in the 30 years that she has been in politics? Or even in the last 10 years, or so, where she's been at the high echelons of American politics. And he's right. For her to be president is not going to give her much more power to make changes than she's already had, especially during the Obama administration. She's had a lot of power. So, and then he's saying, me though, I'm not a politician, I'm a businessman. And I'm a cutthroat businessman. And, I've built up some of the greatest assets in the world. And I've built it from a modest beginning. He doesn't deny that he was was helped out by his dad or anything like that. That was pointed out. That was a big thing, just to kind of, I think Hillary wanted to say, Trump comes from money, whereas she doesn't, which I don't believe at all. Right? She might not come from Trump money, but she doesn't come from the mean streets of anywhere. So yeah, Trump is saying, hey, I built up this company to gigantic standards, and yeah, I've used I think Hillary threw at him that he's went bankrupt. He's like, yeah, I've used the laws that are in place for business to be successful, and he has. That's exactly right. If they don't want people to be able to go bankrupt and and rebuild and stuff like that, and utilize those laws to their benefits, they shouldn't have those laws. So he should own it even more strongly and say, yeah, I'm the business guy. I'm the guy that's that's good at building empires. My Trump empire. And the United States is an empire, but it needs a businessman at the helm, right? And I'm the guy to do it. That's what he should be saying, and he should be owning it and owning everything, and not trying to be PC, not trying to back out of his views and all of this stuff. When they question him about I thought it was hilarious even that they brought it up. I mean, it's good. How could they not bring it up? But it seemed to me that the whole thing was skewed in Hillary's favor, the whole debate, because the moderators seemed to have some strong issues with Trump. And he brought up these questions. He didn't ever hit Hillary with a very cutting question in the way he did Donald Trump. He's like, okay, what about this thing with wanting Obama to produce his birth certificate? And he produced it in 2011 or whatever, and you've still asked for it every year since then, and you keep bringing it up, and you've brought it up even as recently as this January and all this. And Trump kind of owned it, but he didn't totally own it. I'd rather him just expose himself completely, be racist, be sexist, be Donald Trump. Don't try to be politically correct. Don't try to hide it in some kind of other rationale or this kind of thing, whatever. If the reason he had a problem with Obama was because Obama was, had this weird name and sounded too much like Osama or whatever, come out there and freaking say it, Go ahead and own it. And I think that's going to do him a lot of good if he does, because there's a lot of lowbrow, low-class people out there that feel the same way, that have just, I've got family members who I've seen post shit all 8 years on Facebook, stupid crap about Obama and blaming everything on Obama. It's ridiculous. And it's just because of racism. But go ahead and own that, Go ahead and own it. Go out and play hardball. That's what Donald Trump needs to do if this is going to continue to be a race at all. Because Hillary just destroyed him in that debate. Because Hillary was being the politician. And that's who she is. Donald Trump needs to be who he is. and just let loose. Just don't worry about how he's going to be perceived and all of this by people who are looking for somebody to be presidential and looking for somebody to be politically correct and all that. Fuck that. Just go ahead and be Donald Trump, because that's what got him where he is already. Not that I'm saying I'm supporting Donald Trump, right? I don't support either of them. I hope, I wish this wasn't happening. But it is, and for me it's just more confirmation that I made the right choice to get the heck out of there, because that country's gone nuts. I mean, what is going to be next? No matter who it is in this election, who knows what the next one's going to be like if it's this bad this time around. So I don't know, but that's my feedback on it. It's basically, I'd like to see a better debate in the next one, and and I think that would happen if Donald Trump just lets loose. Don't hold back on Hillary. Just let loose. Be Donald Trump. Own it. When they accuse you of something, put on that smirk and give them your real reason why you did that. And just own it, and then ask why they don't. Right? So that's my opinions and my perspective.